You're listening to Little Green Cheese, episode 86. Well, welcome back, Curd Nerds. I'm Gavin Weber, and this podcast is where you can learn about cheese making at home. So, a bit about my week. I finished the Belper Noelle taste test video, the second one. It was really nice. Fiery little bugger, but very, very nice. Also, I did a video on a cheese, a Maltese cheese called Jabenyet Talbazar. Yes, I think I got that right. Jabenyet Talbazar. Very nice little cheese indeed. And it is it's a fresh-ish sort of cheese that has been matured or drained for, say, 2 weeks. And then it is matured in vinegar, cured in vinegar for 4 hours, and then it's rolled in black pepper or ground black pepper. And it tasted quite nice. I really enjoyed it. And so did Kim, of course. I've been also writing scripts for other videos as well. The video in question is ways with whey. I'm up to 15 ways with whey, and that's methods that you can use your whey, what you can do with excess whey. Anyway, too many ways. So that's kind of what's been going on, and that's been absolutely so much fun. I've actually been scheduling my podcasts and videos in a new tool called, it's Monday.com. I don't know if it's new. I'm on the free plan. I don't know whether that changes soon or not. We'll see. But yeah, I managed to get my act together and record more podcast episodes and definitely more videos and get them out when I need to get them out. It's kind of helping me keep myself accountable, if that makes sense. Anyway, lots of new cheeses coming up. So if you haven't ever visited my YouTube channel, it's got over 274,000 subscribers. It's got over 140 different cheese video tutorials that you can try. And there are over 450 normal videos as well that you can watch from Ask the Cheeseman, which is a weekly show, a live stream show that I do on Sundays, and lots of tips and trick videos as well. And you can catch those over at cheeseman.tv. That's the URL you can put into your browser, and it goes straight to the YouTube channel. Anyway, I think that it is time for the news. So the news for this week is from New Idea Food is the website I got it from. It says the votes are in. It looks like cheddar is Australia's favourite cheese. I don't think there's any doubt, but anyway, it says in celebration of National Cheese Day, which was apparently on the 4th of June, and I missed it. I don't believe I missed National Cheese Day. Anyway, it says a new report has taken on the task of finding out which cheese that Aussies love the most. And spoiler alert, cheddar has taken the crown. A study by Bega Cheese Brand, Australia's biggest cheese lovers, were found to be millennials who had the greatest weekly spend, with more than half spending $10 to $20 every week, and even some spending $20 or more on cheese. Boomers came in a close second with 4 in 10 spending over $10 weekly. Out of the people surveyed, almost half said they eat cheese as often as 2 to 4 times a week, and some even having reported they were eating it more than 7 times a week. Well, I don't eat cheese 7 times a week. But anyway, very cool. Said the study saw cheddar take home the title as Australia's favourite cheese, followed by brie, mozzarella, blue, parmesan, and goat's cheese. The thing that Aussies loved most about the cheese was its texture, including smoothness, crumbliness, followed by creaminess, sharpness, saltiness, and smell. As for Australia's favourite cheese combination, most said they prefer cheese by itself or on a cracker, followed by a serving being served in a sandwich or a jaffle, which is a toasted sandwich or a grilled cheese sandwich, melted on a meal, served alongside a glass of wine, and sprinkled on top of a salad. It comes as no surprise that Australians love cheese, and Professor Russell Keast, head of Deacon's CASS Food Research Centre, said that one of the reasons is due to its broad spectrum of intensities and flavours. Cheese has a really interesting composition, and this influences how it tastes in your mouth. Whether it crumbles or melts on your tongue is a result of the cheese-making process, Russell said. You can condense proteins and calcium, remove water and alter pH, which results in different varieties of cheese, from a soft brie to a sharp cheddar, he said. When it came to how Aussies feel when they eat cheese, over half of the respondents reported that cheese made them feel content or satisfied. Some mentioned happiness or joyfulness, followed closely by feelings of relaxed or calm. Feelings of being relaxed or calm. Cheese master at Bega cheese brand David Mellor also said that the reason why cheese is so special is that you can go through life and pick up new appreciations of different cheese that hit the right notes on your taste bud. It's a journey that is ever evolving, from what you eat to the way you eat it, Dave said. Well, there you go. Cheddar is Australia's #1 cheese, but I love the categories that they said in the story. What is it? Brie? Traditional brie is rarely found in Australia because it's a raw milk cheese. And so they think they mean the little petite bries or pretend bries that look like camemberts here in Australia. Mozzarella, well, obviously on pizzas, just about everywhere. Blue cheese, parmesan, and goat's cheese. And I think parmesan could be very generic. So, and goat's cheese. Any cheese, just about any cheese can be made with goat's cheese. So that's extremely generic anyway. So that is the news. Australia's favourite cheese is cheddar. Who would have thought? I think it's bleedingly obvious anyway. Alrighty. We have lots of questions this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 questions from cheesemakers who make their own cheese at home. So let's listen to the first one. And it's from Alan.
Hi, Gavin. This is Alan Vallow. I live in Lodi, California, and I'm just getting into cheese making, and I so appreciate all of the videos you have, and I've been through virtually every one of them. Now, I've always was fascinated with uh, the curd cutter that you use, and I've been looking for months to find one, and I actually did from Steve in at Woodworker Junkie, and it's in Massachusetts, and he indicated that you have recently done a review on one of his. When I spoke to him, and he also now has a vertical cutter that I've just ordered. I would love to find out your views on that, because I tell you what, I looked for months and could not find those harp style cutters anywhere. So in the meantime, I'm going to continue to watch everything that you produce, and I've got actually all my supplies and cultures are coming in today, and I'm going to get going this weekend, and I'd love to keep you posted. Thank you so much. I just love watching you. Again, it's Alan from Lodi, California, and my very best to you. your wife, your family, and Australia. Bye now.
Well, thanks so much, Alan. I appreciate it, mate. My thoughts on the curd cutter, and just a not a spoiler. What is it? Just a note. I am an affiliate now for Steve Benz's curd cutters. He has them listed on an Etsy store, and it is called the Woodwork Junkie. And what I will do, anybody who's interested in them, and because I use them, interested in them, then I will put the link in the show notes to my affiliate link, and I get a small commission every month from Steve from people who buy curd cutters from that link. Anyway, so my thoughts. The curd cutters are designed very well. There is a new stainless steel version that he ships internationally, which is really good. It has a high density polyethylene handle, and all the rest is stainless steel. So, and he must have a stainless steel welder or something. But the spacings between the strings on the curd cutter, or curd harp as some people call it, are about 1.25 centimetres. So they're about half an inch spaced apart on the horizontal. So they're for horizontal cuts, which are the hardest to do for the home cheesemaker in their pot. So basically what I do is I put the curd harp into the pot, spin it around 360 degrees, and that cuts all of my horizontals to the right size. A lot of cheeses have their cuts at about half an inch, or 1.25 centimetres. So then I just do the vertical cuts with a curd knife, and I find that's fine. He did send me the vertical curd harp that he made, but I used it once and I didn't really use it. I found that the curd knife was more tactile in my hand. It felt better. It felt like I had more control. So yeah, I use the horizontal curd cutter, and I use a curd knife to use the vertical cuts. So, like I said, I'll put the affiliate link in the description down below. But thanks, Alan, very much for your thoughts or your voicemail about the curd cutters. All right, the next question is from Gail, and it's about cultures or starter cultures for cheddar. So let's have a listen to what Gail has to say.
Hi, Gavin. My name's Gail Graham. I'm talking to you from Winton in New Zealand, and I am quite keen to try a cheddar cheese and was wondering what culture I should use for that. I do make already a creamy blue, thanks to you, and a camembert, and I'd quite like to try a cheddar. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Well, thanks, Gail, very much for your voicemail. The cultures, there's a couple that I'll recommend. So if you want a standard sort of cheddar uses two starter cultures, which can commonly be found in, they're called Lactobacillus lactis subspecies cremoris and Lactobacillus lactis subspecies lactis. So those two starter cultures traditionally are used to make cheddar, and a lot of semi-hard to hard cheeses. Now, the different types of cultures, I'll just have to dig it up. So the commonly known starter cultures that have those two bacteria, lactic bacteria, there are a couple of brands. So Sacco Cell 1, it's MO30. Mad Millie Cell 1, and it's called they just call it the cheese culture or the mesophilic culture. It's the same one. Same bacterial strains. There's another one from Danisco Choose It. So MA11 is another one with those two strains in it. And another one by Abiasa, it's a mesophilic type 3, has the same strains. Now they're all pretty good for cheddars and Colbys and that sort of stuff. There is another one that I have been using lately, and is it listed in my little list of cultures here? It's called a farmhouse culture. It's also sold by Danisco Choose It. and it's MA 4001. So it's got 4 strains in it, and it's mainly used for farmhouse style cheeses. It kind of replicates the lactic bacteria that is in raw milk. Now, I recently made a Colby, which is not the same as cheddar, of course, but I made a Colby, and I used MA 4001, and where previously I had used MO30, which are the 2 lactobacterias. And I found a vast improvement in flavour when using the MA 4000 series starter cultures. So just so you know, the 4 cultures that are in it, if I can find the culture list. It's got LC, which is Lactobacillus lactis subspecies cremoris, Lactobacillus lactis subspecies lactis. It's got LD as well, which is Lactobacillus lactis subspecies lactis biovar diacetyl lactis. My goodness. And it's also got a thermophilic starter culture in it called Streptococcus thermophilus. So those 4 in MA 4000 series seem to add a little bit more flavour into the cheese. So you could use the MA 4000 series for a little bit of different flavour. I think it kind of really does closely resemble cheddar than using, say, just the 2 strains, the LL and LC strains of culture. Anyway, that's my 2 bobs worth, Gail. I hope it helps. Alrighty, the next question is from Hendrik. So let's listen to Hendrik's question.
Good day, Gavin. This is Hendrik Akker speaking from Hans Bay in South Africa. Gavin, my question today is, we're battling to get Lipase for putting into your feta cheese to get the taste back to goat's milk. Where can I buy Lipase? Because, as I said, we have no joy of it. Could you let me know, please? Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, thanks, Hendrik, for your question. Lipase is, well, you can buy lots of versions of it. There is calf lipase, kid lipase. The 2 main ones you can even get, what is it? What's a baby sheep? Oh, lamb lipase. Oh, crazy. So the strongest one's kid lipase, really strong flavour. But I tend to use calf lipase. In fact, it's the only one I can find here in Australia as well. It is difficult. There should be a cheese-making supply shop in South Africa. Let me just have a quick look. Can't be too hard. Let me just Google it. All right, so there is a cheese-making shop in South Africa, and it's called, what's it called? Is there a name? There's no name on it. Oh, it says cheesemaking.co.za. Let's have a look if they have lipase. Would it be under cheese-making cultures? Could be. No. Other enzymes. Surely they've got lipase. They've got there we go. It's for 24 Rand. So, Hendrik, it is available. No, I can't share my screen. I didn't put a sharey screen thing up for the video. But for all those on audio, if you go to cheesemaking.co.za, then you can find and look under other enzymes, and there is lipase powder. And you can buy it. And it's, 24 Rand. There you go. Found it for you. Wasn't that hard. And they ship all over South Africa. Google is your friend, Hendrik, when you're trying to find stuff. All right, the next question is from Khalid from, I think he's from Pakistan, but hopefully I'll get this right. Anyway, here's Khalid's question.
Hello, sir. May peace on you. This is Khalid Shingwari from Pakistan. I'm watching your videos maybe 10 to 15 days, and it got my interest. Thanks for your detailed explanation. Sir, in Pakistan, I don't know about that we can find rennet or not. Of course, online we can find it, but a little expensive because I have seen too much videos of someone else's, and they made it with the vinegar, and even I have made it as well. It melts all the procedure of yours, but instead of those different kind of cultures and solutions, I just put citric acid, uh, like only vinegar. So is it also okay? And but it didn't it didn't become in pieces like you have in your video, or neither do the milk you cut. It's like that curd. It's something like else curd, not like that. But I feel that it is okay as well. So what is your view on it, sir? Thank you. Thank you for your time. May peace on you, sir. Have a great health.
Well, thanks, Khalid. Can you replace? I think the question, after you've questioned yourself, is can you use vinegar instead of rennet? No. The answer is no. You cannot. You cannot use vinegar instead of rennet. Where it says in a cheese making recipe to use rennet, you absolutely have to use it because it sets a different type of curd. What you're talking about is acid set cheeses or lactic set cheeses. No, acid set cheeses, sorry. Lactic is when you use bacteria only. Acid set cheeses, there are many. There's paneer is a typical one that you would find in your area, that's for sure. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Paneer is a very well-known cheese, and it is easily made with lemon juice or vinegar, so any type of acid to coagulate the milk after you've boiled it. Now, for normal cheeses, you don't boil the milk. And I think the only reason they boiled the milk in India was it's a form of pasteurization. You're killing all of the bad bacteria, as well as all the good ones as well. So what you can do is, I'm pretty sure that you've got butchers over there in Pakistan. If you can't find any rennet, liquid rennet online, and if you say it's expensive, all you can do is go along to a butcher's, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you the fourth stomach of a calf, and you should be able to dry salt it. So open up the stomach, dry salt it, let it dry somewhere so it goes, it may smell a bit, but let it dry. And then you can snip off a little piece of that, and that is your rennet. That's where rennet came from originally. I've even seen in some videos where they still make cheese in this manner, is that they use the stomach just fresh. Cut it open, make sure it's all clean, of course, cleaned out with fresh water. And then what they do is they dip the stomach itself into the milk, and they dunk it up and down a few times. I don't know quite how they did it, but dunk it up and down a few times, and then took it out, took the rennet, it's called the rennet bag, or the stomach is known as, and then what you do is then you take the stomach out of the milk and let the milk set. So there's a couple of alternatives. There's also lots of different vegetarian rennets. So fig sap can be used as a rennet to set milk. You can also use cardoon thistle. The flowers can be soaked in water. However, sometimes they tend to make the final cheese a little bit bitter. But there's a couple of alternatives that you can use for rennet. I hope that works for you, Khalid, and you got some value out of that. So the next question is from Leslie, and Leslie has a question about cutting curds. So let's have a listen to that one.
Hi, Gavin. When cutting the curds, I know you go from top to bottom, one direction, and then top to bottom, the other direction, and then on the angle. Do you always go on the angle as well? Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Leslie. Nice, short and sharp and sweet. Go on the angle. I think you mean when you're cutting curds, do you do vertical and horizontal cuts? Yes, absolutely. Unless the recipe states otherwise. I know that in some of the softer cheeses, some of the recipes that I've created or modified from other sources, some of them tell you only to cut the vertical cuts, which and then you'll have big columns of cheese. They'll still express way, but not as fast as if you did vertical and horizontal cuts. Now, those cuts on an angle are a very poor attempt to do horizontal cuts in the cheese. Very hard to do for the home cheese maker unless you've got a curd harp, which we talked about in Alan's question. And yeah, I recently, some of the curd sizes that I've had to cut have been bigger than 1.25 centimetres or half an inch. The most recent one was, as I mentioned before in the intro, was Jabanyet Tel Bazaar, which had 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimetre cuts. So I needed to actually do cuts at an angle. So that's what I did. So you do it at a 45-degree angle all around the pot, and hopefully you'll get something close to horizontal cuts. So yeah, you absolutely need to, if it says cut the curds, then that into cubes, that's what you're trying to achieve. It expels more whey and does it evenly. So that's a good thing in your cheese making. Well, thank you very much, Leslie, for your question. The next question is from Nellie, and I think it's a simple thank you, but we'll have a listen anyway.
I would have never gotten as far making cheese without all your wonderful podcasts. Please keep them up. I always refer to them. And happy cheese making. Thank you, you curd nerd.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nellie. I appreciate it. Yes, the podcasts are continuing, as you've noticed. This is the second one I've released in 2 weeks. So we're on a roll so far. And like I said, I've made the production so much easier that it makes it simpler for me. I only have to do one set of things to produce both an audio podcast, which you may be listening to, or to the video podcast, which is over on the Little Green Cheese YouTube channel. But yeah, I'll keep it up as long as you guys keep listening. Alrighty, the next question is from Paul, and it's about sourdough and the yeast effects on cheese. So let's have a listen to Paul's question.
Hi, Gavin. It's Paul from Maine in America. I was wondering, I love to make bread to go with my cheese. I was wondering if I could make sourdough bread. Would that would the yeast affect the cheese making like with regular bread? All right. Well, good day.
Well, thanks, Paul. That's short and sharp as well. And thank you for your question. Yes, you can make bread, but don't make it on the same day that you make cheese. So I asked this question the other day to my cheese-making community over at on the Ask the Cheese Man live stream. And I got a lot of responses back, and they were all the same. So they found that when they do make when they make bread, and they use like dry yeast, they on the same day that they make cheese, they tend to find that the cheese does get infected if they make it close to where they're making cheese, the bread that is. However, if they make the bread a day before they make the cheese, then they never have any troubles. They don't seem to anyway. Now, because sourdough uses a sourdough starter, it doesn't have dry yeast that can become airborne. The sourdough starter is infected by wild yeasts anyway that are in the air. I think that as long as you clean and sanitize all of your cheese making equipment and at least spray down all of the surfaces that you're putting stuff on from your cheese making equipment and stuff like that, as long as you spray those down with, I just use plain white vinegar, and that kills most yeasts and molds from infecting anything. I think you'll be fine. Any area that you made bread, just give it if it's a surface like a kitchen bench, kitchen counter or something like that, then give it a spray with white vinegar in a spray bottle. I don't think you'll have too many problems. But like I said, don't make them on the same day. A lot of people have told me they've done that and they've had issues. They've had the milk get infected with yeast and lots of tiny little bubbles appear even before they start pressing the curds. So So use those tips. That's straight from the Ask the Cheese Man community over on YouTube. So thanks, Paul, for your question. Well, that is all we've got time for this week. And thanks so much for listening. It's been a pleasure bringing the podcast to you again today. Lots of things will continue to happen in my little cheese world, and hopefully you are making cheese yourself. Well, thanks for listening, Curd Nerds. You can find my cheese making video tutorials over on my YouTube channel, cheeseman.tv. You can get all your kits, supplies and equipment, and my cheese making book, Keep Calm and Make Cheese, over at littlegreenworkshops.com.au. We are now shipping to selected countries internationally again. If you would like a personalised message from me, I'm available to book on Cameo. Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of the Little Green Cheese Podcast. During this podcast, you heard royalty-free music by Kevin MacLeod. I played Malt Shop Bop, News Theme, and Call to the Dairy Cows. Well, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you get informed of more podcast episodes. Thanks for watching. See you later.